If I were to ask you what is the best World Cup ball of all time, what would your answer be? Some people would say it's the Al Rila from the 2022 World Cup in Qatar. Other people would tell you it's the Brazuca from the 2014 World Cup in Brazil. In my opinion, it's the Jabulani from the 2010 World Cup in South Africa, and it's really unfortunate that I only have a mini ball version of this incredible ball. Whether it's the Teamgeist from 2006, the Fever Nova from 2002, or the Telstar from way back in the day, Adidas know how to make a really good World Cup ball. Now you're probably wondering to yourself, why am I asking this question? Well, the 2026 FIFA World Cup ball was just announced, and it's safe to say that not everyone is a huge fan of it. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the Adidas Trionda, the official ball of the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Now normally when I make a video, I do a lot of research, I put together a script, and I try to stick to it to a T. But today I want to take a look at this ball, give you my first official thoughts on it, and tell you what the community is thinking about it, because honestly it's been pretty divisive so far. Now this isn't an unboxing video because honestly there isn't really a whole lot to unbox here, but let's take it out of the packaging and see what makes it so interesting. Now I will say the packaging is really cool. You have the World Cup logo here, you have the three symbols for the three host nations, you have the Trionda on the top there. As far as packaging goes, it's pretty good, but let's take it out of the packaging and see what makes it the next World Cup ball. Now right from the get-go, this ball is very polarizing. This is the official match ball, so this is the one that they won't be using in the World Cup because it doesn't have the actual tracking technology in it, but this is the highest level you can get at a football store. Now I'm a big soccer ball collector, so I would have bought this if it was $100, $200, $500. They could have literally made a white ball with the World Cup logo on it and like the Comic Sans font, FIFA World Cup 26, and I probably still would have bought it. But for a lot of people, a 210 Canadian dollar or 150 US dollars or 110 British pounds price tag is pretty hefty, and I honestly don't know if it lives up to that hype just yet. Now, I feel like I've been bashing this ball for the first part of this video, so let's at least talk about the good things about it. Now, right from the get-go, you have to say that the colors are pretty interesting. They've really captured the essence of the three host nations, the red for Canada, the green for Mexico, and the blue for the US. So on that part, it's pretty sick. Another interesting thing about the Adidas Trionda is that it's made with only 4 panels, the lowest of any World Cup ball ever. Now, I'm not the scientist, so I don't really know what 4 panels on a football means, but I think it's gonna make for some interesting flight paths when it's kicked. And if it's anything like the 2010 Jabulani that people are saying it's gonna be like, I'm really interested to see how it's gonna play. Now, on the actual ball itself, you can kind of see here that there's these like lines going through it, which I'm assuming is to do with like air resistance or drag so that there's more control of the ball. At least that's what I've read. From that perspective, it's a cool design, but when you like feel it and you touch it, it just feels like too grippy almost. Like I wish it was more smooth, but you will notice if you buy the official match ball version that there's a bunch of lines going around, and I think that's the new style that Adidas is going for. Now, another cool feature about the official match ball, I'm not too sure if you can see it on the camera here, but on the actual ball itself, there's a bunch of little imprints of the American star, the Canadian maple leaf, and what I'm assuming is the Mexican eagle here. And they're littered around the ball, which is pretty cool. Like it gives it a little subtle touch that they didn't need to put in. It's kind of like on the PS5 controller. If you look on the back, there's like the little X's, little squares, little triangles, little circles. So it's a cool added touch. What it actually does for the ball, I'm not entirely too sure, but you won't see this on, I don't think, the league ball or the replica version. I think it's just on the match ball itself. Now, my favorite part about this design is this little like triangle-esque thing here where it goes from green to blue to red. I think this part of the ball is honestly the coolest aspect of it. I don't know why, this is what I like the most, to be honest. So that's about it for the positives when it comes to the Adidas Trionda from a visual perspective. Let's talk about what I don't like about it. Now, the first thing that I don't like about this ball is that it's the first ball since the Etrusca Unico from the 1998 FIFA World Cup in France to have like a visual logo, visual design on it. You know, you can see the American star here, you can see the Canadian maple leaf there, and you can see again what I'm assuming is the Mexican eagle here. If we compare the Adidas Trionda and the Adidas Al Rila, you can tell that on the Al Rila it's just colors, shapes, and some subtle designs. There's no visual aspect to it. It's the same thing with the Adidas Brazuca, one of the most iconic World Cup balls of all time. It's just the orange, green, and blue panel designs there with the black in the middle. Very simplistic, but very effective. And again, when you compare it to the Adidas Jabulani, which is my personal favorite of all time, it literally cannot get more simple than this. It's just the circular shapes, some white in the middle, and it just works. I think, for me at least, I love the simplistic design when it comes to a football. It just has to be executed correctly. When it comes to the Trionda, it just feels like it's doing too much. I also don't love the shape of the colored parts here. Like it's kind of like a weird like golf club shape they have going down. And it just feels like with these pictures or logos or symbols, it just feels not childish, but it doesn't feel polished. It doesn't feel finished. It doesn't feel complete. You know what I mean? I think it's really cool that Adidas is trying something new, and they're really trying to show the unity of these three host nations through the symbols that represent them best. But it just doesn't feel like this is a World Cup ball. I know it sounds bad to say, but it kind of just feels like a training ball that professional teams would use in their training matches before the World Cup. This is like a pre-World Cup ball. Another thing that I don't love about this ball, which again, I'm not sure if the camera can pick up, but around these like golf club shaped designs, there's like a little gold finish. And it just doesn't feel like it needs to be there. Like, this ball doesn't feel like it needs gold. It's the same thing with the panels themselves. Like, they're kind of littered with these like gold specks throughout, and it just doesn't look great. I don't know how to explain it better than that. Like, it just doesn't feel like the gold is really accentuating anything. It kind of just makes the ball feel a bit dirtier. It kind of looks like dirt on a ball that would naturally accumulate over time when you play with it on a pitch. So I don't really know what Adidas was going with when they decided that this ball needed gold trims and gold specks flickered across it, because I don't think it works. One thing I will say about this ball is that I see the potential it has for the World Cup final edition of it when they make it all gold with the black finish, if that's what they decide to do. But that's my take on the brand new 2026 FIFA World Cup ball, the Adidas Trionda. It has some good aspects, it has some bad aspects, but overall it just doesn't feel like this is the World Cup ball that we wanted and that we deserved. And that's what makes this ball so polarizing for me. I don't know if it's because it's still so brand new and because I haven't used it on the pitch yet and I haven't seen players use it yet, but it just doesn't like scream classic to me. I don't know why. Like, I feel like in 5-10 years, depending on how this World Cup goes, because I feel like the legacy of World Cup balls is heavily dependent on how the actual tournament itself goes. I just don't think people are gonna look back in 5, 10, 15, 20 years and be like, you know what, the Adidas Trionda is my favorite World Cup ball of all time. I don't think that's gonna happen. But what do you think about the new World Cup ball? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Is there anything you would change about it? And how do you think it's gonna perform at next year's tournament? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more football content, tier lists, and everything in between. And as always, I'll catch you next time.